NFL lines and opinions. Going to just rip through these today. Tomorrow, normally on Tuesdays, Ron Romanelli joins us. He will not be with us this week, so we wish him and his family the best, as always. But, yeah, we got another week of NFL ahead. Just seems that no team can stay on top for more than a week, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. There's been so many upsets, especially this weekend. Big dogs winning straight out. So we saw Washington, the Colts, and what was the other big dog, Mitch? Washington, the Colts, and
Texans.
the Texans all winning outright.
Yeah, so definitely, we've just seen some crazy times. You look at a team like the Titans; they have 3 losses, and it's the Jets and the Texans, and they beat the good teams and they lose to the worst of the worst teams, and then here they are traveling to Foxborough on Sunday. We've got 3 games on Thanksgiving Day. Of course, Joe and I will be here. At least I'm planning on being here for halftime of all of them. You'll see me get just bigger and bigger throughout the day. We'll have a scale that I'll sit on, and you'll see I could probably put on 15 to 20 pounds in one day.
As long as there's no weigh-in before the show necessary, Mitch, I'll be here.
Yeah, I think that Saints-Bills game could be a lot of Mitch here by the time we get here. And I won't say if my top button's unbuttoned or not, but just say it might be in some stretchy pants.
You have to wear your turkey pants on Thanksgiving. That's what I call them, turkey pants.
Yeah, I have pajamas. I just wear it all day.
Perfect. There you go.
That's what I wear most of the time. But got some good games out there, some not so good games, but these are a lot of meaningful games now. And this is where the rubber meets the road. We start to look at the divisional standings of these teams, the playoff positioning, all those things. It's time to start talking about it. Most of the teams have 7 or 8 games left, depending on if you've had your bye, if you haven't had your bye, and exactly what the situation is. But most teams have 7 games left. Yeah, all teams have 7 games left that are playing this week. I believe this is the last week of byes. No, everyone has 7 games left that will be playing this week, and there's 2 teams on bye. So it'll be the Chiefs are on bye. I forget who the other one was, but we'll get to it. But let's just get right into it. Thanksgiving Day, we got the Lions and the Bears. The Lions still looking for that elusive first win. They do have a tie, so they're not going to go down as one of the worst teams in NFL history. We've had a few winless teams, in NFL history. A lot more winless teams than teams that have gone undefeated. It's impossible. It is so hard to go undefeated in the NFL. I was, fortunate enough, and I'm old enough to have been, at the Dolphins 72 season. I'm a season ticket holder, and I went to those games. I remember the perfect season. I still remember it. And it seemed you wouldn't most people that weren't alive by at that time, or most people that don't remember it or whatever, it wasn't how you would think. It definitely didn't go as you would think it would go. It wasn't like they just came out and you knew every week that they were going to win, and that they just dominated everybody, and it was just a wipeout every single week. There was a few of those games in there. They beat New England 52-0 that year. At home, it was a big win, and but some of those games they were nip and tuck. So so the NFL hasn't really changed in that regard. But I think what we've seen in the NFL, and it just seems so fishy, these days. It just seems, when you see last night where the Chargers are just getting penalized and penalized and penalized, and this
very fishy.
It's so fishy. It's just like, what is this? What are we watching? And that's why I find the NFL a very tough watch. I ever since the Steelers Seahawks Super Bowl is really when I've kind of tuned out. Since then it was just like I do the NFL, I watch it, I'm just like everybody else. I know it's the most popular sport, and I try and get excited about it, and but at the same time, it's like you see these calls, and it's always Steelers games, it's always Packers games, and it's miserable. It's just miserable. It's like, why bother playing the game? At that point, you say, why bother playing? And that Steelers Seahawks Super Bowl was that game. Pass interference. They're calling. There's no pass interference. They're calling. They wanted the Steelers to win the game. Just say it. Just stop the game and give them the trophy. Why put us through this? This didn't really happen. That didn't really happen.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Make it up.
Right? It's super frustrating watching some of these games, trying to work out what is happening and which calls they're actually going to call and which ones they're going to turn their blind eye on and let us suffer as bettors and fans.
Well, when I go to the Pick Dogs betting tools, they do a really nice job of with the standings for the NFL. They not only say what the records are, but also, and not just how they are against the spread and all that stuff. They also have the odds to win the division, Super Bowl, and all that other stuff. So
yeah,
it's kind of even for me, it's my website, and I still struggle to use it as my source. But at the same time, I'm just not accustomed to it. But I'm developing that user behavior where it's like if I want the best information about the standings, well, this is the place to get it. So there's certain things I don't like here. So the thing is with the odds, they only say to win the division. But here we go. So the Bears are playing the Lions. The Bears are sitting at 3-7, and the Lions 0-9-1. Neither of these teams are going anywhere. The Lions have been eliminated from the playoffs. It's
surprise there.
Yeah, the Lions are already eliminated from the playoffs. The Bears are plus 25,000 to win the division. So they're pretty much out of it. They're 4 games behind the Packers in the loss column, 5 games in the win column. So the Packers and the Chiefs are the teams that are off this week.
Yeah.
But
nice week off for them.
But for the Bears and as a team, this is almost a must-win game. But when you look at these two teams, right, the Lions the offense is basically the same. They both average 16 points a game. The Lions allow 27.3 points a game. The Bears, 24 points a game.
Absolutely. But the Bears haven't covered they've covered once in their last 4 games against the spread. So I'm willing to give the Lions this game plus the points and sprinkle on that money line because it is Thanksgiving and we know the Lions, if they're going to win, it's going to be Thanksgiving Day. Yeah,
I'm going to take the Lions. I think there used to be a thing with the Lions winning on Thanksgiving, but I think those days have come and gone. I'm gonna take the Lions, but I'm gonna take the points. We're getting the hook in here, so I will take it. We got the Raiders taking on the Cowboys. The Raiders, I really think that this team, is just too much. They withstood the Gruden thing. They withstood, Ruggs, sort of, but now it's like, your starting corner, your starting wide receiver, your head coach. It's too much. Because Ruggs is just such an integral part of this team and part of the game plan. He was the only receiver they have that can really stretch the defense, and you can't replace that. Guys that run that fast are just not available.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The Raiders are having such a hard time without him out there. They utilized him so well, and I think they're going to struggle against this Cowboys team. I am tempted to take them plus the points. So if we can get it going a little bit higher, I'm looking for some more money to come in on the Cowboys, pushing this line a little bit up because I don't know. I think it's going to be a tighter one on Thanksgiving.
I don't know. I like the Cowboys here. I think they're going to slaughter them.
Yeah. Well, more than likely, I could really see it happening, especially after how they performed this weekend.
Luke Combs will be singing halftime. We're doing halftime for the.
And you know who he is now, right?
No, I don't know who he is.
He's the one that sings that beautiful crazy song I told you about.
Well, he'll be playing at halftime of the Cowboys game, And the other game, the halftime will be Thomas Rhett. Oh, that's Cowboys. That was last year's. I don't know who these people are.
I was going to say Thomas Rhett is very good as well.
No, he's not. I so don't know that he is. That
Guess you're not a big country fan, Mitch.
I'm not a big country fan. I'm not a fan at all.
No?
No.
Well, I'll listen to all the country music for you.
There'll be a Drew Brees celebration for the Saints game.
Okay.
And the other game for the Lions, it will be I don't know. No idea. Don't know. Oh well. Anyways, Saints Bills, Saints +4 at home. They've been cover machines on Thanksgiving. Of course, they had Drew Brees, not Trevor Siemian playing QB.
Yeah, that is true. This is a tough one for me because I think we've seen the Bills underperform quite a bit. Do I think they're going to continue? No, I really do think that they could take this one, have a great win, but this is in New Orleans, and that's where I struggle with this one. I could see New Orleans getting the win they so much want, right? They're 4-1 against the spread straight up following a loss.
Yep, they're 5-5 coming in. Look at the standings. The Saints 5-5, just 2 games behind the Bucs, depending on what happens tonight. If the Bucs win, they're 2 full games behind. If the Bucs lose, they're just a game behind the Bucs, but a game ahead of the Panthers. So the Saints have not had the Saints have had their bye. Okay, so the teams that haven't had the bye, the Panthers, the Chiefs, the Packers, I believe. Panthers, Chiefs, Packers, Eagles.
Yeah.
Panthers, Chiefs, Packers, Eagles are the teams. So see if any of those are playing this week. Yeah, the Panthers are playing this week, and the Packers are playing this week. So go figure. I don't know. I think this is a tough one. It's a lean maybe to the Saints plus the points for me.
Yeah.
Just the Bills have been so bad. They've now lost the lead in the division to the Patriots. They're half game back, but still favored to win the division. The odds still have them favored.
And they have been doing well on the road, covering the spread in 7 out of their last 10 road games.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough go of it for the way the Bills have been playing. It's like that no one's fault but their own. It's not like they've been losing to the good teams.
No, they've definitely been playing down. And I've talked to a couple athletes, and they say it really does get in your head when you're playing a lower team and you just don't think there's any way they can beat you.
Well, speaking of lower teams, we got the Falcons and the Jaguars. Falcons also in the mix in that AFC South, but every time they seem to get any kind of momentum, they get knocked down. And, they're 4-6 on the season coming into this one up against a Jaguars team that looked as bad as they've looked. So for the Jags, we're starting to see a pattern. Good game, bad game, good game, bad game. Yeah. Coming off the bad game, now they play the Falcons back-to-back at home here for the Jags.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have a good game against this Falcons team. I think the Falcons can come out and get it done.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jags in this one.
Okay.
Good game, bad game. Patriots against the Titans. This one's interesting. You got Bill Belichick against Vrabel, a Belichick disciple. Titans 8-3 on the season, coming off of that loss to bad loss yesterday to the Texans. Well, the Patriots have now won 5 in a row, 7-4.
Yeah, the Titans had this game circled. I swear it was a look ahead for them. I think they're going to come into this game so strong. I think they're going to give the Patriots a really hard game. I'd take them plus the points here. I think this is going to be a tight fought battle.
Yeah, I like the Titans plus the points. I think the world's going to be on the Patriots in this game.
Yeah.
We got the Bengals.
Absolutely.
Bengals minus 3.5 against the Steelers. The Bengals are 6-4. The Steelers 5-4-1. So that tie, hurting or helping the Steelers here, however you want to look at it. But both these teams are chasing the Ravens. But both of them, if you look at the playoff standings, they would be in a tiebreakers format with the Bills. It's the Bills, the Bengals, the Bills, the Bengals, and the Chargers all tied at 6-4 at this point. The Steelers 5-4-1, so that half game behind both of them, all of them. And then there's a bunch of teams, right there. The Colts are 6-5.
Yeah, this one scares me because we look at a Bengals team that just has not been covering at home, 1-5 against the spread in their last 5 home games. But I think this is one where they bounce back. They get a nice win over this Steelers team who, yeah, they did end up showing up at the end of the game last night against the Chargers, but I don't think that they will do it against the Bengals 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, the Bengals got them earlier in Pittsburgh. So, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh got them here. We got the Texans against the Jets. Something's got to give here. Both 2-8 on the season. Joe needs some help now with the way the Lions are playing. She's going to need the Jets to win this one.
And I can't believe I'm going to say this. Like, I really want the Jets to win against this Texans team. I need the Texans to be the worst in the whole league. I need the Lions to step up. I'm hoping the Jets come out and win this, but I don't know. Tough call in this one. We've seen ups and downs out of both these teams. Texans just got a nice win this weekend. I don't know. I'm going to have to take the Jets plus the points. I think this is a coin flip either way. 1 point kind of game.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I like the Texans. A little bit of momentum there off of their win. And the Jets, just with Joe Flacco, are just so bad. Terrible. Terrible.
They are for sure.
Terrible. Got the Dolphins against the Panthers. Dolphins have now won 3 in a row quietly, but it's a lost season. They pretty much need to win out and need a ton of help, but it's not like they're all the way out of it, but winning out is not going to be easy. They don't have the Bills that they have to play, but they do have a rematch with New England, who they beat already this season. So, the Dolphins, kind of an interesting story. They don't have any margin for error, but here's their schedule. So they have the Panthers, which is a winnable game, but it's certainly not a gimme. I mean, this it's pick 'em. Then they play the Giants at home, then the Jets. So I mean, they could be looking at, they win this one, they could be off to the races with 6 consecutive wins.
Yeah.
And then then they play at the Saints. That's a night game, so that's a tough one. Monday Night Football at New Orleans. Then they play the Titans on January 2nd. Another very, very tough get because who knows what the Titans will be playing for that at that point. But the Titans at that point might have home field and everything clinched. So who knows? And then they play and who knows what Titans team is going to show up. And then they end the season with the Patriots as traditional game. So I think the Dolphins, they're hitting the big plays now. Tua's throwing the ball down the field. This is an interesting situation. I don't think they have enough to make the playoffs. I don't think they have enough to reel off these, all these wins that they need to go 9 and they'll go 10-7 if they do that. The whole thing is there's 17 games this year, so it's going to be, we don't really know what is playoff and what's not in a 17-game schedule. We've never seen this before. We don't know if it's going to take 11 wins, in general to get there from the AFC. Because in general, it's been 10-6. You're pretty much gets you in as a wild card in the AFC.
Yeah.
But we saw the Dolphins last year 10-6 not get in. So, is it 11-6 that gets you in or 10-7? Because the Dolphins, here they are. They have 7 losses, but 3 in a row. They get this one, and then the Giants and Jets next. both very winnable games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think they do get this one against the Panthers team. I don't trust in Cam Newton under center. I think the Dolphins definitely can do it. And I think they're thinking the same thing as you. They have to get past this game. They have to win this game.
I mean, does 9
and then they have a chance.
Does 9-8 get you in? You know, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the thing is, the Patriots have 4 losses. The Dolphins have 7. But the Dolphins will have a crack there to get one on the Patriots. And if they beat them, they'll have the tiebreaker on them because they've beat them already. And traditionally, the Dolphins beat the Patriots in that spot every year. It's a tough one. But we got to look here at the Panthers. I like the Dolphins in this one. I like the way they're playing. I'm a homer. I don't care.
Yeah.
Call me a homer if you like. Guilty as charged.
But they are playing well, Mitch. I completely agree with you over this Panthers team. I think there's way too much hype behind Cam Newton being under center for them. I don't believe in him. Right? He was out of the league for so long for a reason.
I have so many computers. It's like I'm trying to do 6 things at once.
Yeah. No one jumped to pick this quarterback up.
No, and, you know, the thing is he beat the Dolphins last year.
Yeah.
He did beat them in New England, but then, you know, lost at Miami.
And that's the thing. This game is in Miami. We know it's hard for teams to go into Miami and get that win. Very hard place for them to win. Look at Tom Brady. How long of a losing streak did he have in Miami?
Yeah, it's his worst record against any team. I'll tell you, he was having a tough day at the office. The Butler Bulldogs, they're getting absolutely shelled here by Houston. I did not do too well in my early games. Vermont let me down. They were right there, but Houston up 17-0 against Butler. 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Wow.
They're just crushing them. It's the oddest thing that, you know, it's the Maui Invitational. It's in Vegas. They have the hibiscus and stuff on the floors, and the guys are wearing Hawaiian shirts, all the coaches and stuff. But this is not the Maui Invitational. I just think the Dolphins have done a good job. You know, these last few games, they've been against the lousy teams, but this is what they needed.
Yeah.
It's been against, you know, they beat the Jets, the Texans, and who was the other one? It was another really bad team. But we got the
Dolphins? Yeah.
Yeah. We got the Colts against the Buccaneers. So the Bucs are playing tonight. The Colts, one of the hotter teams also in the NFL, but they play in that division with the Titans. Of course, we remember that game a couple weeks ago. We remember the Titans. And Carson Wentz threw that ball with 2 minutes left to go in the game and hit the defender right in the chest in the end zone for a touchdown going the other way. And the Colts did end up scoring there, getting the ball back and scoring, but that was the one loss. They've been hot, 6-5. They've won 4 of their last 5. Still plus 600 to win the division. The Titans 8-3, and they have the Patriots on tap next week. That might be a nice little wager right there. A future on the Colts just to win the division.
I like it. I definitely do. They have so much momentum right now, and I think they're going to come in, and I'm going to take the Colts plus the points against this Bucs team. We look at a Bucs team that has not been doing well on the road at all. 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 road games, and then 0-6 as a favorite on the road against the spread.
Yeah, you know, a thing that, you know, we always hear Big Al talk about on our shows. He talks about the plus-minus points. Colts are big plus points. You know, they're 6-5, but they're plus 64 points. You know, meanwhile, the Titans are 8-3. They're only plus 37 points.
Yeah.
And the Bucs, you know, I mean, they can be had, especially on a short week in Indy, you know.
Absolutely.
I like the Colts here, money line. I think they get it done.
Well, we also saw what Washington was able to do to this Bucs team, right? And the Bucs were off a bye that week, and now they're on a short week for this one. I really do think the Colts have a very good chance, Mitch. So I like that money line.
Tonight we'll see. You know, them beat up on the Giants, and they'll talk about how great the Bucs are.
Absolutely. So that line could shoot up. We could get more value with the Colts plus the points.
I'll tell you what, I didn't bet enough on Houston here. I mean, they are just really slaughtering them. Got the Giants and the Eagles. So the Giants play tonight, and then they play the Eagles on Sunday.
Yeah, this will be an interesting one for sure. I know I'm still dealing with some injuries there. I don't know. This is a hard one for me. -3.5 is what I'm seeing right now.
The Eagles are really starting to play
I
some
don't.
solid football, and they're starting to look like a playoff team. In a
Yeah.
conference, the NFC generally a lot lower win totals to make the playoffs than it is in the NFC. And when you look at the Eagles at 5-6, especially if they can get this win here, they'll go to 6-6 with 5 games left. Well, 6-6, yeah, with 5 games left to go in the season. And you look at the other 5-win teams. The Vikings have 5 wins. The Saints 5 wins. The Panthers 5 wins. The 49ers 5 wins. Only one second place team has more than 5 wins, and that's the Rams. So it's wide open in the NFC for that spot. I don't know. I think I kind of have to like the Eagles' chances here, and I like their chances of making the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too, Mitch. I think it's the way to take this one. Eagles minus the points.
Giants
They,
to me, the Giants are terrible. I mean, they'll show up here and there, but this isn't enough
yeah.
points to talk me into it. The Giants are getting points at home.
Yeah, which I normally love a dog at home, but not in this case. We look at an Eagles team that really has been doing well in their last couple of games. 5-2 against the spread in their last 7. The only thing that scares me is they are 2-5 in their last 7 against the NFC East teams.
Trying to look ahead to the playoffs and see exactly how this is going to work. So there is an additional playoff team. So it is there's an additional playoff team. So only one team, I think, gets a bye, because instead of there being just four playoff games on opening weekend, there's 6. So I believe there's a third wild card team.
Okay.
And only the team with the best record in the conference gets a bye the first week. So that really opens things up for teams like the Dolphins, for teams like the Eagles, the Eagles
Yeah.
the Dolphins have 7 losses, the Eagles have 6. I mean, and plus 3 teams now make it instead of 2. This is a Monday Night Football playoff game.
Yeah, the Eagles are going to be so hungry to get this win. I don't know. With the way they've been playing, this is a team that I haven't really believed in, but
No, I haven't either.
can't deny them that win yesterday over the Saints.
No, they beat them up. We got the Broncos at home
Yeah.
against the Chargers. We saw the Chargers win last night. It was, a million penalties in that game. That was just another one of these games that, like I said at the beginning of the show, makes me not like the NFL. And people are like, how could you not like the NFL? Because when you see disparities like this, when you see the refs take over the game, there's nothing fun about it for me. It just isn't. And when you look at the Chargers, 12 penalties for 75 yards, that doesn't include declined penalties. When you look at these penalty numbers.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ride here with the Chargers again, minus the points against this Broncos team. This is a divisional game, and the Chargers know that they have to keep winning, especially in these divisional games, if they want to, beat out KC, take the division, or make the wild card.
So Jay Billis is on ESPN eating Hawaiian food, I guess, in Vegas.
Nice.
He's got just a whole table full of this stuff.
Yeah. We look at Justin Herbert last night, first player in NFL history to pass over 380 yards and rush over 90 yards in one game. He's making records. I believe in this young quarterback, and I think he's going to have a great game against the Broncos.
Yeah, once again, for me in the NFL, it's like the records have kind of been diluted as well with the rule changes.
Yep.
So it just makes it hard. It's like I don't take anything away from what he's done and what he's accomplished, but as far as that, it's like, I mean, the rules allow that to happen.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, it's kind of like, so an average, like you see Drew Brees and guys like Matthew Stafford throw for 60 touchdowns in a season. Like if you look at the leaders in touchdown passes in the NFL this season. So let's see. If we go NFL stats. And if you go to passing statistics. So Tom Brady through 9 games has 27 touchdown passes. Dan Fouts, who is seen as one of the best passers, in the history of the game, Air Coryell, right? Yeah, they had Air Coryell. His best season he ever had in his entire career, 36 touchdown passes. His best season ever.
Wow.
Yeah, ever. And that was the NFL record for 15, 20 years. This is how much the game has changed. So,
yeah,
Dan Marino, when he broke that record of Dan Fouts, he threw for 48 touchdown passes. And that was seen as smashing the record.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard to say that, he's the first guy to do this and the first guy to do this, because obviously these are different rules. And Peyton Manning is one of the only quarterbacks that you'll ever hear say this. When they said, "Oh, you broke the record for most touchdowns in a career," you know what he said? He's like,
"What?
If I had to play by the rules that those guys had to play by," he's like, "I wouldn't have half of this amount." It's like,
absolutely.
Back in the day, like when Fouts was throwing those touchdown passes, he played in the same division as the Raiders. Lester Hayes used to have stickum all over his body, and it would just rub it in the receiver's eyes. He was allowed to mug them. There was the chuck rule. They were allowed to chuck. You're allowed to basically decapitate the receiver within the first 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Then they made it 5 yards. Now you can't touch them at all. So,
wow. Yeah, it's a huge difference. It really is.
It's a huge difference. So that's why the numbers have changed so much. And now, now there's more games, which makes Jim Brown's numbers, which make his numbers all that much more impressive. When you look at his rushing records, where it's like he rushed for over 100 yards a game in his career on average, which is insane. Like 1,000 yards in an 11-game season is a lot different than a 1,000-yard rusher in a 17-game season. It's just a difference.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I don't believe in calling certain players the GOAT or the greatest of all time, because you put that player back when they didn't have the rules that really protect the quarterbacks now. I don't think they would have lasted in the league so long.
So if you look at the top 100 best touchdown throwing seasons, almost all of them are in the last 20 years. The only outlier is that Marino season. So the number one most in a year, Peyton Manning, 2013, 55. Tom Brady had 50 in 2007. Patrick Mahomes had 50 in 2018. Manning, 49 in 2004. And then there's that Dan Marino in 1984. It's the outlier season, see? And then you have Aaron Rodgers, 2020, he threw 48. Drew Brees, 46 in 2011. Aaron Rodgers, 45 in 2011. And then Dan Marino, 44, 1986. And it's a total outlier season. You see how much better he was than everybody else, because you keep going back and it's like it's 41 in 2011, 40 in 2020 by Tom Brady. We're already at 15th best season. We're all the way back, and there's not another quarterback 1995. If you go to 1995, Brett Favre threw for 38 touchdown passes in 95. He's next on the list. In 96, he threw for 39 touchdown passes. So you see the disparity, 55 to 39 in 25 years of rule changes. And then you have the one guy in there in the middle, 1984, fifth place, 1986. You go back to like for someone else in the 1980s on this list, you're back to, so if you go back before someone for the 1980s, you're down to 31st on the list. George Blanda threw for 36 touchdown passes in 1961, and that was in the AFL. So it wasn't even in the NFL. It was in the AFL.
Wow.
Yeah. Right? It's crazy. It's like that's what these rule changes have done. 1999, 2012, you look at this and it's like, can you put Steve Berline, and his 36 touchdown passes in the same class as Dan Marino throwing 48 in they're just not there. And you keep going. You can keep going, and it continues on and on. Then you go 1994. This one is close, at least. Steve Young, but everything else, 2000 and beyond. There's just a very few outliers in there. It just shows you that Ryan Tannehill, is on this list. 2020, 33 touchdown passes. You think he's better than Dan Fouts?
No, no way.
Not
even in the same conversation at all.
Not even in, but when you look at the numbers and you hear them say these things, they are, which is sad. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know how we got there, but we
did. We totally did. We were talking about which game now?
The Chargers and the Broncos.
I think, yes. And then I brought up Justin Herbert's record.
Right. Who I wish was on the Dolphins and wish they gave him the number 13 Dan Marino jersey.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. But we got the 49ers playing against the Vikings. The Vikings now 5-5. The 49ers at 5-5. And the 49ers beating up on some of the bad teams. We've seen them do this throughout the season. And then when they play against the better teams, they get waxed. They did beat the Rams, but the Rams, we're not sure if this is a good team or a bad team anymore.
Yeah, that's true. The Rams are a huge question mark for me. So, but in this case, I'm going to have to go with the Vikings plus the points. I really do think Kirk Cousins is underrated. And against the 49ers and Jimmy G, I would rather rely on Kirk Cousins to pull it through with his team and get the win. What about you, Mitch? What do you think in this one?
I'm going to take the Vikings also.
Even
though the early line movement indicates that we're wrong. I don't care. We got the Packers against the Rams. Aaron Rodgers is potentially injured here. We don't know what his status is going to be. We know he's generally a tough guy. So I'm going to guess he's going to play. My guess is he hates the Rams too. And I'm going to take the Packers here at Lambeau against the Rams.
100%. No other way to take this.
Yeah, I think we're also going to get some weather. And then the night game, Baltimore Ravens and Cleveland Browns. The Browns are really, the wheels have really fallen off the cart, but 6-5, and then the Ravens 7-3. Somehow they just managed to keep winning. Yesterday, no Lamar Jackson, no problem.
Yeah.
We don't know if Lamar's going to be playing in this one or not.
Hopefully he is, because I think this is a great game for them to get a nice win against this Browns team. I really do believe in the Ravens, and I think they've lost a couple that we were all thinking they were going to win, but this isn't going to be one of them.
Baker Mayfield looked in really rough shape yesterday in that game. He did manage to finish it, but man, did he look like every step he was in pain.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely beat up for sure.
Got, I like the Ravens in that one, though, at home. Though they're not really a great cover team. 4 is tough.
No, they're not a great cover team, but I think this is just low enough that they should be able to get that cover.
So they have a guy walking through the casino, the Orleans casino, carrying a Timponi surfboard. Pona's one of
Nice.
our local shapers, but it's like there's no surf in Vegas. It's almost silly that they call it the Maui Invitational. I feel sorry for the kids, on the teams that didn't get to come out to our island, and
Yeah,
do
it's a
all
hard
these
one.
things. Vegas is fun, but it's not like going to Maui.
Oh, no. No comparison right there. What about the Monday night game, Mitch? This one's going to be interesting. We have the Seahawks at Washington.
I like the way Washington is playing. I don't love the way the Seahawks have been playing, but normally that's when the Seahawks get you. So I think
surprising to see the Seahawks 3-7 on the season. Hey,
it is surprising at this point, but I'm gonna. It's a tough one. I'll have to come back to that one. I think I'm gonna Ruffalo that one. I think I like the under.
In a Ruffalo it. I'm gonna go with Washington plus the points there. I think it's valuable points to take, and I see this one being tight. Like you said, I like what I've been seeing out of Washington as well. And I just think the Seattle team isn't looking like the team that we all expected. They can't seem to get anything under control. I think what we saw out of them when they played Green Bay is exactly the team they are right now, and it's just one that's falling completely apart.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. But they did not look good yesterday, that's for sure. But they played against a good team, so we have to give them some credit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was our early look at the NFL for this upcoming week. Just 7 more weeks, 6, 7 more weeks, depending on who you are, of regular NFL season. Of course, we'll have the playoffs. Look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow morning. We got another massive day, and I won't be able to do videos on a lot of these college basketball games because they're tournament games, so there's not going to be any lines that are out for me to do the videos. So we'll have plenty to talk about in the morning, college basketball wise. So I look forward to seeing all of you then. Make it a winning night.